God dang it, we don't own any of this shit. Squad.
Howdy, y'all. This is Mr. Leatherjacket of Team Spaceline, and I'm going to talk in depth about some of my favorite humans from King of the Hill. This video is titled Hank Hill vs. Kahn, a redneck and a Chinese or Japanese tale. If you are from Texas or have dreams of living vicariously through the characters of King of the Hill, then y'all have come to the right place. This show has it all, brothers and sisters. We got the semi-blue beaches, bastard gases like butane, and the devil's chocolate itself, charcoal. But wait, folks, there's more. Low-flow toilet drama.
What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's white?
Propane emergencies.
Had another dream, to sell propane and propane accessories.
Neighbors fixing to get in your business about your infidelity, and awkward proclamations of love for your son. This is Texas, all right, but more importantly, this is dang old Arlen, Texas. Before I continue to this main topic of this here vidya, I want to explain my personal connection to this series. From the ripe ages of 6 to 13 years old, I remember running home from school as soon as traffic could allow it to catch my favorite show of all time, The Simpsons. 5 p.m. sharp was when I could hear the chorus of and get jittery about how they changed up the intro this time. I was in it for Bart and Homer like most rascals, I'd think, and as soon as 5:30 began, a show with what I thought at the time, the most boring country-filled intro took over, and I felt I couldn't even begin to relate to it as soon as the show started. Propane? Overweight boys that charm taller girls? A substitute Spanish teacher who couldn't even speak Spanish properly? But be fair to me, y'all, since this tale has only begun. As soon as I was in my teens, it all seemingly fell into place. Wait, I did have an enthusiastic Spanish teacher that spoke mediocre Spanish. Fat guys totally got some loving too, and Hank and Kahn are totally my father. It was an epiphany. This grand moment, a microcosm of my very existence, had me realize that King of the Hill wasn't just a show anymore. It was our very reality in a blissful, compartmentalized caricature. 6 a.m., not already that boy ain't right, Hank Hill proclaimed. I can already hear my own father telling me to stop dancing and put the guitar down. Kahn showed the other side of my dad, who was mostly a confident man that littered jokes on deaf ears with regularity. If I accept my redneck life, it like I bury myself alive, Kahn declares. Suddenly, I had realized something truly special about this show. Kahn and Hank are essentially the same men at heart. Let's start with Hank. Hank Hill is a Republican voter, propane assistant manager, lawn enthusiast, and loves a cold Texas beer with his best friends. If I had narrowed down Hank to these bullet points, then he'd sound like your average Joe down here below the Mason-Dixon line. And I'll tell you what, you'd just be close to being right. But this is a much deeper man than he would lead himself on to be. Hank genuinely loves his rambunctious wife, Peggy Hill, a more liberal alter ego from your average Texas gal.
You know, Coach used to say something that would fire us up when we were behind.
Yeah, what?
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well,
Adding to that list is Bobby Hill, a 13-year-old boy that is everything his father is not. Yet both try to bond with each other by sharing their loves, respectively propane and comedy.
I sell propane and propane accessories, I tell you what. Shut up, Dale.
Hank has an unusually high tolerance for his best friends and their antics, Dale, Bill, and Boomhauer. Dale is a paranoid conspiracy theorist that once poisoned Hank's lawn and even spread fire ants on it.
I'm going to drain all the blood out of your body.
Mr. Hill exclaims,
I'm gonna kick your ass,
Dale. Bill, on the other hand, is a divorced man who had been driven to the lowest of self-esteems. He constantly asks for Hank's help and general advice, who is usually annoyed, but always extends a hand. Whether Bill is putting on a dress to remind himself of his ex-wife Lenore, or on the verge of taking over Arlen with a tank, Hank always shows up in timely fashion.
Bobby, I can't babysit you and Bill, and he's in the band. Bill, spit that out.
Boomhauer is just a middle-aged bachelor that just dangles, you know?
Yeah, man, dang old dang if you do, dang if you don't, man.
Hank takes pride in being an authority and believes that his way is best. but shows that he is willing to make exceptions for the people that he cares about in Arlen.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
I live in California last 20 years, but first come from Laos.
Huh?
All right, guys, I'm going to try to pronounce his name.
I am Kahn Supanusimphone.
Kahn Supanusimphone
So that's pronounced Kahn, right? Nice to meet you.
is a man with a chip on his shoulder, and he'll give it to you straight. He's been fired from multiple jobs, all citing from his inability to interact normally with people.
How does this machine work, Mr. Kahn? How do I print? How do I save? A Control S, you morons! It's always Control S!
He constantly brags about his position and salary, and is unafraid of putting his daughter Connie on a pedestal. Combine this with the fact that he married the female version of himself, Nin, who regularly encourages his outward behavior.
Come on, ladies. Dr. Quarters is rocking your world. Look at him accordingly. Action.
I was not born, Dr. Quarters.
There's a general sense of superiority that Kahn and Min both share over their neighbors. And this is very much elevated because Kahn has a very low tolerance for people. Over time, we see that Kahn actually became this way because of his constant perception that he is always fighting an uphill battle. His family fled Laos from a communist dictatorship and built their entire name from the ground up. It's the classic immigrant story, one that I felt very connected to. And he never forgets to remind his neighbors that they don't understand him. No, I can't fail. This is not supposed to happen to me. I'm Asian, for God's sake. More expected of me, he declares to Hank. King of the Hill was a television show that was extremely ahead of its time. And I say that because the previous statement by Kahn made me feel like I wasn't the only person that felt the way he did. As an Asian American, there's this view that we are a model minority, and there are expectations that we must excel in almost everything we do. I felt like if my work ethic weren't at peak level, then my very existence would have been questioned. At the end of the day, we are people, and every single person is fighting a battle. What King of the Hill succeeds in, where most mediums don't, is delivering us a perspective that transcends beyond satire. Hank and Kahn are very much within our souls. When Kahn's family first moves into Rainy Street during West East Side Story, the neighbors looked in apparent shock. Mistaking the movers as the new homeowners, they actually see the very first non-white family move into their neighborhood. Immediately, the stereotypes of one another start flying out. A running joke in the episode is that everyone thinks the Supanusimphones are Chinese.
We are Laotian, from Laos, stupid. It's a landlocked country in Southeast Asia. It's between Vietnam and Thailand, okay? Population 4.7 million.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
And in return, Kahn proclaims that everybody in sight is an ignorant redneck.
Oh, hey, ow. I would like to make a toast to Hank and Peggy Hill, Billy. Ha!
There could have been more things that went wrong. For example, Hank offers a tank of propane and Kahn declines for his mesquite instead. A big no-no in Hank's world, but he swallows his pride. Later on, Dale conspires that they must have been duped into eating dog meat.
How about you, Dale? How many you got under your belt?
0.
Huh? How come?
Don't eat dog.
And this created a giant fiasco for everybody involved. It all leads to this nearly dangerous confrontation between Kahn and Hank.
Look, Kahn, I understand that life is valued differently in your part of the world, largely as a result of overcrowding and famine. But you're in my country now.
You're a crazy man. I call the police.
If anyone's gonna be calling the police, it's gonna be me. Give me my dog back or else.
Oh, tough guy. I'm so scared. You want a piece of this?
But all is well, because Connie and Bobby admit to the dogs being freed earlier. From this error, we learn that nearly every single problem starts from the very root of poor communication. At the same time, they scream, "Go to your room." And in this moment, Hank and Kahn had finally met a common ground and a simple understanding for the other.
You know, Kahn, we may deny our kids completely different desserts, but they both go to bed hungry. And that's what really matters.
Well, guess we're not so different after all. Boy, howdy.
There's so much more than meets the eye, folks. Although these two men share completely different upbringings and ethnic cultural backgrounds, they are very much two sides of the same coin. Hank and Kahn are men that appreciate hard work, fear of expressing affection, love their family unconditionally, and put maximum effort into their passions. Kahn is a bit more insecure about people acknowledging his fortunes, while Hank seeks validation by making sure others know about his marriage to Propane. When it's all said and done, these flawed men try to do the right thing, even in situations that present no benefit to them. They may be at odds at times throughout the show because of certain personality clashes, but there's this mutual reverence towards the other. Ultimately, Hank and Kahn are men of honor who keep the glue together on Rainy Street. Conclusively, King of the Hill taught me to be observant and patient with people. We can never know where someone is exactly coming from, but listening is a huge first step. If you enjoyed this dual character analysis video, then like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I previously did a video on the Star Wars prequels, which you can check out right here. Y'all come back now. Here, Lady Bird is going to be pretty darn sad otherwise.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!